Well, good morning guys and welcome to Footsteps and Tire Tracks. Recently we upgraded the steering wheel on this VW T5. It's really easy to do and I think you'll agree, it looks so much better. In this video we're going to show you just how easy it is to install it.
We're Marc and V and this is our adventures. Decided to put a different steering wheel on the auto sleeper, T5 auto sleeper, whichever way you want to look at it, it's going to be the same thing. So this is a steering wheel. This has come off a B7 Passat. Now the airbag is obviously the most difficult piece. It's got multi-function on it as well. Everybody says you can't wire up the multi-function steering wheel to a T5 because of the CAN bus. So it's a bit of a bummer really. However, I'm not saying that we won't try at a later stage, because at the end of the day all we're doing is pulses when we do that. So it might be that somehow we can wire up to maybe the volume, I don't know. In my head it says we can do it, and if anybody's done it please let me know. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires there. Up, down. Don't know. It's possible, I suppose. We'll revisit that at a later stage. But the most important thing at the moment is to make sure that airbag can connect to the T5. Now, from what I understand, is we remove this one and put the harness from the T5 onto this airbag and it all connects up. So we'll see how we get on, and of course at a later stage we'll possibly revisit and see how we do the multi-function steering wheel. Anyway, not to worry about that at the moment. What we're going to do now is we're going to carry on out into the van and we're going to remove the steering wheel. What I've had to do on the Sandhurst is I've had to disconnect the main battery, and I still have power, so I disconnected the leisure battery. For some reason, the way the auto sleeper have done it, you still get power to your ignition from your leisure battery. So I've disconnected the leisure battery and I still have power. So I had to pull the fuse from the solar panels as well, even though it's a grey rainy day. So now everything is completely isolated, I hope. Now while we're struggling with the next bit, because it will be a struggle to remove the airbag, this is what I'm trying to actually access from behind. These position themselves on little clips, and I'll show you the clips at a little bit later stage, and we have to just pull them around. It's very simple, but believe me, it becomes very difficult. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can't pull the steering wheel back away as far as possible. See that? So that's as far as he'll come back. Pull him right down, just to give us more access in behind. So the first thing to do is we need to turn the steering wheel like that so we can access the pins. So I'll do. So turn the key in the on position so we can turn the steering wheel, and you can feel a hole there. Now I'm going to hold the camera round, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this. So we try and point. So my finger's there, and that's where the hole is. We'll try and get a better shot of that somehow. I'm not sure how. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now with this hook tool is I'm going to try and hook it's not proving to be the easiest thing to do. Okay, so after struggling, not being able to see what I was doing, I come up with an idea. I've got put my phone looking back so I can see the clip inside. Hopefully you can see that. And that's managed to help me undo one side. Now I'm going to turn it round and I'll do the other side. So that one's out. That was quite a struggle. Now we can remember, and I'm going to, while you can see it there, that you've got a little kink in one side of the clip. Now you want to be working on the side away from the kink, and you want to push it in towards the center. So you're just pulling him in slightly and he pops out. Okay, hopefully that's going to help someone else. I've struggled quite a lot with that. It's an easy thing to do, but it's so difficult to do it, and I think putting your phone there so you can see what you're doing just makes everything so much easier, so you can see it all there. And you can see we can remove the airbag. And there you are, that's the airbag removed. Now when you're removing this clip, just put a screwdriver down and push him out, so you can push him like that. So when you're looking down through, put the screwdriver down through there. So you're on top of the black tab there. Just lean him slightly and he will pull out then. Makes it a lot easier. So hopefully you can see that. You can see how the screwdriver just levers him down and then the connector will pull out. Okay, so you can see I've taken the nut off, and hopefully you can see the marks there. There's a mark on the steering wheel and there's a mark on the top of the steering column. So hopefully you can just see that mark on the top of the steering column, and you can see the mark there on the steering wheel. Now that mark on the steering column, I would say is probably 1 notch clockwise, isn't it? So the steering wheel needs to be 1 notch anti-clockwise when we put it back in. And that will save us having to retrack the wheels. And there we are. That's the new steering wheel in place. It fits perfectly, so there's no issues there. Obviously, like I said earlier, these won't work for the moment. We'll now do him up, and I'll find the torque setting to make sure he's torqued up nicely, and I'll put that in the information. And you will notice the notches as well are in exactly the same places as they were before. The next part of the steering wheel modification is we've got to move this wiring loom here from the T5 over to the Passat. And you can see that's a Passat connector and that's the T5 connector, so they're different and we have to transfer it across. Now the important thing is we're concerned about the horn, so we got that one there, actually the blue one actually goes to the body on the, so you can see it's soldered in there, and you can actually see it easier if you look at that one. You can see it's where it's soldered there. That's the blue one. Then we got the brown and the black and white. You got over there you got the brown and black and white. So we're now about to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer them over. Now I'm going to make notes first and take a photograph just so I know exactly what I'm doing when I remove it, just in case I get disturbed. Okay, so now I've transferred the loom across. Now be very, very careful when you're putting that clip back in, because it's quite a tight fit, and I was worried I was going to bend the pins, but it's in. Also, the brown wire has a tag coming off it, and it just won't quite fit in there, so I had to cut the tag off. And you can see, if you look carefully, I've had to re-solder the wire. Just make sure you do it properly. And that all looks good now, doesn't it? So the next stage is I'm going to put it back into the van, and I'm not going to push it down so it's seated. I'm going to connect it, and then we're going to connect the battery back up and then turn on the ignition and see what happens. Hopefully it'll be good. We want to see if the horn's working as well. Okay, we've done the nut back up, and the torque setting was 50 Newton meters, which is roughly 36 foot-pound. But do check up on this as well. This is what I found out on the web, and that's what I've gone with. But I can't say it's definitely the right one, right size and right settings. Okay, so we're going to turn the ignition on now. I'm going to stand back. Airbag warning light has gone off. Good sign. But we have no horn. So I've been thinking about the horn not working, and before I go any further, I thought to myself, I still got the body control module out because it's being fixed, and does that have an effect? So I'm not going to change any of the wiring, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the airbag in to the van, and I'm not going to push it back in properly, and we'll wait till the body control module arrives back, and that'll be then we can try it there before we start changing things anymore. So I've shown you removing the steering wheel, and you know, it's quite difficult because I was showing you how to use my camera on my phone to sort of show you how to do it. Now you can see it here. This is what we're actually trying to get to, and you're trying to get your tool in there, and that's what you're doing. You're literally doing that, and then the other side, so you're literally going it, pushing it in towards the center of the steering wheel, and there it is. Okay, and that will remove the airbag. It is as simple as that, but when you're struggling and you can't see it from behind, it makes it a lot harder. So if I can come a lot closer, I'm gonna put him back in, and you just go back in, and if I can get between the camera, so we're trying to push him towards the center. You see there, and there at that point there he releases, and it's as easy as that. However, it's as easy as that, but it's very, very difficult, like I say, when you can't see it. So there we are, we have a new to us steering wheel installed into the auto sleeper, and I've taken it for a drive, and I can tell you it's an absolute pleasure to drive now. So I think you're going to agree that it looks so much better. You know, it's a really nice steering wheel, and I think it cost me about 70, maybe £80. It wasn't very much on it. I got it from eBay. And of course, everybody is thinking, well, earlier on when you were doing it, you didn't show us the airbag warning light. So let's come in to the clock. Let's turn the ignition on, so you can see the airbag warning light go off, and there it goes. So that's great. And the only other thing we were wondering about, obviously the horn wasn't working, was it? So there you have it. Steering wheel fitted to the T5. It's a T5 auto sleeper, I know, but it's a T5. And it probably will be very similar for other VW models as well. Obviously the airbag looms are going to be slightly different, but using the same sort of theory, you should be fine. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up please, and please consider subscribing to the channel to see more about the T5 auto sleeper and our general camping and travels. See you later guys, look after yourselves, see you later, bye.